are you?
Yeah.
I did not get much sleep last night. It's been traveling so much. I was in London like 3 days ago, and I think I'm on London time still.
Well, how about
Holy, what state am I in?
Rhode Island.
Rhode Island. Is that in America? Are we in America still? It's my first time here. It seems very lovely. So anyway, I'm Nicholas Brendon. I'm going to answer some questions and try to be as entertaining as I possibly can. I might curse from time to time. I do work blue, so.
So here's how this is going to work, gang. I'm going to ask Nick a couple questions, and then I'm going to call on various members of the audience here, and you can ask your questions. My first question for you is, how did you get the role of Xander Harris on Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
Xander Lavelle Harris, you mean? It's actually funny. I was eating sushi in Santa Monica. I live in Venice, and the manager of the restaurant, this Japanese lady, she's like, she kind of like looking at me, and then at the end she's like, "Did you play?" And it's like, "Did you play Lavelle Harris?" I'm like, "Yeah," and I'm like, because anyone who knows my middle name on the show was a big fan, but it's funny that she said Lavelle Harris and not Xander Harris. Kind of strange. Anywho, so I auditioned for it. I went in on a Thursday, and then read for it, and then I kind of had a particular way I was doing it, and the casting director said, "Do it this way," which I wasn't a fan of. And then I met Joss 4 hours later. And I walked into the room, and there's, Joss, I think, Gail Berman, the producer, was on the phone. I'm like, "Hey, tell that person they owe me money still." And I was like, "Dee-da-da-dee." And then I started doing the sides, and Joss is like, "Stop, stop, stop." He's like, "That guy who walked in here, do it that way." And I'm like, "That's how I wanted to do it." And then, so I did it that way. And I got a phone call about 2 hours later saying that I was going to test at Fox. And so I went to Fox the next day, and there were like 10 different Xanders, Like, I thought that it was special. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I'm booking this part," and then there's like 10 of me. And then I was really nervous, but they passed me on to the WB, and then there was just 2 of us. And I was the second choice. I was not the first choice to play Xander. And so the one guy went in first, and then I went in, and I had happened to have had a meeting in this particular office like 2 months prior, so I felt very comfortable in this room. And I nailed it. And like it's like 30 people in a room, and I'm like, "I can't believe I'm nailing this right now." And I'm like, "Nikki, calm down. You can't, like when you're nailing something, you can't like think that you're nailing it." So then they were laughing, and I left. I'm like, "Oh my God, I nailed that," And so then it's me and this guy sitting outside, and like 10 minutes go by, and they said, "Nikki, you can go home. We're going to torture this guy one more time." And what had happened was I had nailed it, and since he was first choice, they let him go back in to see if he could do what I had just done. He did not do what I had done. I got the phone call that next morning at about 9 o'clock from a manager. "Nick, you got it. But I got to tell you, that weekend, because I tested at Fox on Friday, and then I tested at the WB on that Monday, so that weekend was just nothing but a diarrhea fest. I couldn't eat. It was just bowel syndrome. It was rough.